Alam nating dadagsin tayo ng mga pilgrims mula sa iba't ibang bansa. And we have only 5 months left to prepare for this big event. What is our state of readiness for this big event? May we hear some updates?
Well, let us first talk about the pavilion. As we have seen in the video presentation, it is taking shape. I think around 82.5% medyo matatapos na po. And the pavilion is the designated venue for the expected foreign, national, and local delegates of the Congress.
And the pavilion is expected to be completed this October. May we ask Bishop Dennis Villarojo to give us some updates about the venue.
Good morning po sa lahat. The pavilion is, as of the moment, 85% complete. The civil works have been completed. And we made the topping off ceremony, that's the last pouring of concrete, last June 14, 2015. And it is scheduled to be turned over to the Archdiocese on September 30, 2015. And the pavilion is a simple structure designed to accommodate around 12,000 people. It will be converted into a minor seminary and a pastoral center after the event. It will be fully air-conditioned but Spartan in its amenities. It is funded by a private company, Durus Development Corporation, and the fundraising for the IEC is not being used for the pavilion, but for the operating expenses of the Congress. So that's for the update.
Thank you, Bishop Dennis. If you look at the list of the speakers, you have seen it already in the video. For the January IEC, you will be awed with the quality and the profile of our speakers.
Our speakers are the best you will find in your kit profile of this of the speaker that is inside, the envelope. Some of the speakers were suggested by a group of 15 theologians who were responsible for the theme that comes up, Christ in you, our hope of glory. So they are the one who suggested, sino-sino po sila. Actually, these are very well-known speaker, much sought after. I remember sa Dublin 4 years ago, si Father Radcliffe pinipilahan, kahit maobispo, hindi makapasok dahil po limited ang space, no? That's how they are, si Father Baron, Cardinal Tagle. Naku po, pinipilahan yan. And so, dito makikita natin, itong mga speaker, ang gagaling po, at dito makikita niyo ang future pope natin, andyan, mga cardinal mag-a-attend, mga bishop mag-a-attend, without your knowing it, pag na-interview niyo, bukas i-announce, siya pala ang future pope. So, it's very exciting. Guessing game po yan.
Cardinal Tagle and Bishop David were part of this group in the preparation for the IEC, for the speakers. Perhaps they may have something to say about some of them. Their impressions?
Bishop muna.
Okay. Of course, ang Dean of the Asian Theologians, Father Catalino Arevalo, led the Theological Commission that drafted the basic catechism for this, no? Christ in you, our hope of glory, inspired by the letter of Paul to the Colossians. But maraming nag-participate dito, no? Theologians from all over the country. But, kasama dyan, of course, ang ating great theologian in our midst, si Cardinal Tagle, and a Dominican who is now member of the International Theological Commission, Father Gerard Timoner. Father Jerry Santos is also there, no? And we have consulted several other consultants dito sa drafting, no? Ng ating basic draft ng catechism para sa International Eucharistic Congress, Basically, we would like to make people more conscious of the fact that at each time we celebrate the Eucharist, actually every Eucharist should be international, no? You unite yourself spiritually with every other individual anywhere in the world who receives the same Lord Jesus Christ. But we are acting out this international character as we come together during this specific Congress. At may mga local theologians also who might be able to help you out in the spiritual preparation for this Congress. na wala dun sa lineup of speakers. You know, we have a lot of local theologians na may kani-kaniyang areas of expertise. No? Right among my colleagues in Pampanga, we have a biblical scholar, Father Victor Nicdao, who might be able to speak about the Eucharist in Paul. Kasi mayroong Eucharist in John dito, but Eucharist in Paul would be very interesting. No? We have others like Father Josel Henson, who is also a systematic theologian. No? Of course, Father Arevalo is very accessible, and Father Timoner as well. No? Gayon din, of course, any one of us here is accessible. My own area is Scriptures, Eucharist in the Scriptures, and I think I was invited to preside over one of the Eucharistic celebrations during the theological symposium. No?
You have the list and the profile, but I just would like to affirm some of the things here. No? Father Robert Barron, very famous because of his series on Catholicism. Hindi lang yung libro, meron ding mga video. No? Napaka-telegenic. Kaya magandang puntahan nyo yung mga sessions niya. Si Cardinal Timothy Dolan, very passionate speaker, no, the Archbishop of New York, no, very friendly, straightforward, no, so he will be able to share a lot of valuable insights regarding Eucharist and Mary. Reverend Father Mark Francis, a very good friend of the Dean of Filipino Liturgists, Father Anscar Chupunco. In fact, he is now the president of the Catholic Theological Union in Chicago. Nung namatay po si Father Chupunco, lumipad pa dito sa Pilipinas itong si Father Francis para makiramay at talaga namang para siyang nawalan ng ama. I think he wants to come back, no, to the International Eucharistic Congress in the Philippines, also as a way of paying tribute to the contribution of the Philippines through Father Anscar to his own formation. Our very own Dr. Josefina Manabat, no po, one of the few ladies who will give talks. So, sana dagsain ang kanyang session, no po. She was a former student of Monsignor Piero Marini, who now heads the International Eucharistic Congress, na po, who will also give us from the perspective, you know, Monsignor Marini was even the ceremoniere, the master of ceremonies of Pope John Paul II. So, marami siya maikukwento sa atin. No? Bishop Thomas Menamparampil, a bishop from India, very mission-oriented, and his work with the indigenous peoples in India, justice and peace, no, talagang worth listening to him. Father Francis Maloney, Australian biblical scholar. We were together for 5 years in the International Theological Commission. He was some sort of my guide. No? When he saw me confused, and he would draw me to one corner of the meeting room and say, ito, espresso, kape, magkape ka. Para mabuhay ka. He's not only a good scholar, but a very fine person. Cardinal John Onayakan from Nigeria. Again, my classmate in the cardinalate. We were made cardinals on the same consistory. Monsignor Chib here, no, can say a lot more about this dynamic Bible scholar, no, who always gives us fresh interpretations of different aspects of church life. Our very own Cardinal Quevedo, no, peace, dialogue, no, he has established himself as the former Minister General of the Dominicans, Father Timothy Radcliffe, a prolific writer, and speaker. We were together last March in the Youth Congress of England and Wales. And, just like the young people in England, I also queued up to attend his session. Father Thomas Rosica, Salt and Light. No, and he also serves as the head of the English translation team during Synods of Bishops. He loves the Philippines. During the Pope's visit, he followed everything, no? Even the music. Sabi niya, who composed the music there, no? Being sung in those masses. So he's very much interested. Who is this Tagle? I don't know. No. Bishop Miguel Vidarte. I have to confess I don't know him personally, but I've heard of his name, and we can expect a solid contribution from the scene of Latin America. And our neighbor, no? Vietnam, another place where from suffering comes the blossoming of hope and Christianity. Father Vu. No? So he brings to us a whole heritage, a whole history of that. So our speakers, I think, are worth listening to.